so making great progress on the project. Rough framing in the residence is finishing up on the first floor today. Haven't started here in the rental unit yet, but making great progress out there. And then plumbers and electricians have started roughing in on the second floor. So all these things are really progressing quickly. One of the things I'm noticing that I want to make sure I convey to you guys, you try and keep a story going in a certain direction, and it especially happens when you're watching television. It looks like one thing happens, then the next thing, and then the next thing. It's not the way it goes. I'm answering a million questions about a million different things all day long. So it's actually really hard for me to keep everything straight and get it conveyed to you in a way that makes sense. So when it doesn't make sense, guess what? It's not making much sense to me either. There's a ton going on. The idea here is that you're super organized. You've got your project binder together. I've talked about this a lot in the podcast. It's the first time I'm bringing it up here on the vlog. I'm going to show it to you guys. It's basically all your cut sheets for all the different things that are going into your project. So I have the kitchen plans from the kitchen suppliers. I have my vanity cut sheets. I have the faucet cut sheets from Kohler. I know where all the rough-ins need to be. All of these things are in one big binder so that they can reference that. That does not alleviate questions. There are still a million questions. Are you sure you want this switch here? Think about this, move this over here. This doesn't match up with the plan. These are all things we answer day in and day out. Everything looking all right?
Yeah, everything's looking good. We're just marking out the your island sink.
Beautiful.
So,
Beautiful.
I want to get it right.
This is Rich. He's the plumber, and he's gonna get it right, like he said.
We gotta make it right the first time.
That's it, baby. That binder's working out good for you?
Yeah, working out all.
Is there anything missing that you need?
No.
Good.
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Not yet. That's the key word. I'm sure I missed something. Awesome. Okay. Rich can now flip to any page in that binder and have the exact measurements that he needs in order to keep going, not have to go look something up on the internet, not have to ask me a question. Now I know that when he's asking me a question, it's something that neither of us have and that we've got to figure out, so it's a real problem. That binder is something that John and I developed when we had the construction company, and it's something we absolutely live by. Highly, highly, highly recommend doing that. Print out. I mean, I live a very paper-free life. I do a ton of stuff on Dropbox, a ton of stuff on Google Drive. This is one of those instances you want it in paper. Buy a binder, buy separators, and print out every last cut sheet. Get yourself a brand new set of ink cartridges, a whole ream of paper, and make sure you have it on site. Those are the details that let all your guys get through everything without having to stop and constantly ask questions. Note to realize when your mechanical contractors get started on your job, it may seem like they're moving slow. Markouts for them allow them to move efficiently. So the first and second day they're on the job, for a plumber, for example, they're gonna do very little PEX, they're gonna do very little PVC, they're gonna take the time to go through all those cut sheets and mark everything out. Don't think they're not getting stuff done. This is the old measure twice, cut once bit. This is where it's really, really super important. Electricians, a lot of times they'll set boxes because it's two nails and they can sit in a stud, and then they're gonna visually see where all those electrical boxes are before they start running wire. For the plumbers, they gotta drill every stud to have that pipe go through there. It's not flexible like wire. So having to do that more than once or having to do something that was wrong takes a lot more time, takes a lot more material. Understand that first couple of days on the job, when they're doing these layouts, they're gonna gain massive efficiencies as they move forward. HVAC going in. We're still in the rough stage. Now, this is where a lot of homeowners tend to get frustrated. Me included, guys. I'm feeling the anxiety of it. It's called getting stuck in the walls. It feels like you're not making progress because the framing goes so quickly. The demolition happens, everything gets knocked down. The framing goes, all these walls go up, the space changes, and then what happens? We're in the walls, running wire by wire by wire, running pipe by pipe by pipe. It feels like they're slowing down. It feels like not a lot's going on. These are all the systems that are gonna run your house. Believe me when I tell you, there's a lot going on. You gotta keep your patience during that time. It's an absolute ton of work, and everything has to be done right to make sure that once you close the walls up, you don't have to open holes in the sheetrock to redo things where maybe they went too quickly, they missed a wire, you didn't get an outlet that you needed somewhere. So while it can feel like you're not making as much progress, you are. It's about constantly continuing to communicate, know where everything stands, and check in on a weekly basis. Hey, do we think we're gonna make inspections? Hey, are we falling behind? Are we still on schedule? It feels like this, but I know my feeling and the perception of where we are could be very different from the reality of where we are. Oh my God. Yes, you freaking know it.
Higher efficiency unit. So with that being said, it's got more smart technology. So if there's something go wrong, a sensor trips, anything like that, it'll actually give you a code that'll pretty much diagnose itself and tell you what the issue is, making it easier for the service guy to service it.
Love it. I'm beyond excited about this thing. Super efficient air conditioning unit. Oh, and it's got the special filter with it. Whoa, we're gonna get into this, but very excited.